Hey, High Heels Happy Hour. Welcome back. I was going to say happy, but I forgot what day of the week it is.
Happy Monday.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday?
Happy Tuesday.
Gosh, I don't know what day it is.
So, yeah. How are you, Ingrid?
I'm great.
Great.
A little hesitation. It's been a crazy, crazy week.
Yeah.
So, just catching up with the kids. They're home from school.
Mm-hmm.
Camp's a little crazy. And they've all been under the weather. So it's been one thing after another.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm great. So I can't complain. Besides, I just want them all to feel better.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But how about you?
It's good. It's been a good week. It's been volleyball, last of the season, nationals in Orlando. So, yeah, I feel there's a lot of volleyball in this. It's entrepreneurship and volleyball. That's what we talk about in this podcast. But now it's the end of the season, so now we can take a little breather. But speaking of weather, we have weather as well where we live. Holy smokes.
Oh, yes. I think they forgot to tell us about the hurricane.
Yeah. So last night, our dog, Georgia Peach Pernfors, who usually does not care about weather, fireworks, anything, she sleeps in a crate. It's not locked, but the door's kind of closed in her own bedroom. She busted out of the crate, out of the room, and sat in our room in the middle of the night. Just because she was so afraid, and she's never reacted to thunder, but it was that bad. She busted out. So now we know she can do that. But no, otherwise it's good. Summer's here.
Yay.
Summer is here. So yes, hack. What's a hack?
So interesting. I have a bunch of food hacks. So for those, my children love pancakes. I love pancakes. Mm-hmm. And it's really messy, but like when you I usually pour with a cup or a quarter cup or whatever, so that way they're the same size.
Yeah.
But I found that if you put it inside of a bottle, like a ketchup bottle or whatnot, you can pour the batter so it doesn't make a mess. So it saves a little bit of a mess and makes them really round.
Yeah, you can't do those for Swedish pancakes. Ooh, I forgot to get the Swedish. Right. I need to make a tutorial on the Swedish pancakes. I've forgotten that. Yeah, because that's more liquidy, so you can't pour. But that's a good one.
Okay.
Save your old ketchup bottles, people. Not the glass, then I assume.
No, because you gotta squeeze it.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it would be that ketchup effect.
Okay, how about you?
Okay, so my hack. So I talked about my that I have the travel sheet PDF. That the link is in the show notes. You can how to pack for travel. But one of my hacks, this is new to me. I started using packing cubes. So when we went to, this is just, this is a big one, big cube, but it makes it so much easier when you travel if you pack it in these cubes, because then you can have, and for us, when we travel to Sweden, we move around a lot, and you end up or repacking that suitcase 100 million times, because of course what you need is on the bottom, but when you do the cubes, you can also kind of pack them according to, you're going to stay in a certain place for 2 nights. You can just leave that packing cube for that stay. So this is my new thing, and I love it. I know it's been around, but I have
it's new to you.
It's new to me, and I'm really good at packing. I can fit.
Love it.
Everything in the kitchen sink in the suitcase, but I do like this. So packing cubes is the new go-to in the Pernfors household. Yes, that's my hack. All right,
and you're leaving soon.
I'm leaving soon. So yes, I'm practicing my packing. And today we're starting a little bit of a new series called Entrepreneurial Stories, because even though you'd love to hear from us and we can talk until we get blue in the face, it's really fun to hear other people's journeys and stories, and everyone is coming at entrepreneurship from different backgrounds, different viewpoints, different intentions, different everything. So we wanted to our first guest is someone who we admire a lot. She lives in the same city that we do. She's a good friend of ours, but she's also a entrepreneurial powerhouse here in the restaurant industry, which we know nothing about. So
we just know it tastes good.
It tastes really good. We like to eat there. So yes, Ingrid, why don't you introduce our guest and then we'll bring her on.
So I get to introduce Miss, I always mess those up, Miss Brandy Buckner. She's a co-owner of Crab Stop Seafood Bar and Grill of Vero Beach and Sebastian.
Yes, so
two locations. There. And the CEO of Sweet Desires Espresso Bar. And so it's a Sweet Desires, it's Espresso Bar and Sweet Desires Dessert Lounge.
Okay, and that place just opened, and can we just say that we're slightly obsessed with all the baked goods and the coffee? So good.
My mouth is watering. So good. Okay. She is also a senior employee with one of the largest citrus processors in Florida, Peach River Citrus Products Incorporated, where she works with the founder, William Becker, as his executive team on a daily basis. Brandy's experience and knowledge that she has gained over the last 20 years has allowed her to become one of the company's most valuable employees. And I'm not surprised. Brandy Buckner is a lifelong resident of Indian River County. She is the president of the board of directors for the nonprofit Helping Hands program of South County. She is also a 2019 graduate of the Indian River County Chamber of Commerce leadership class. In 2020, Brandy was also a part of the Ignite 360 business mentoring program. And then in 2023, Brandy joined WeVenture CEO Peer Group. These programs help equip business owners and entrepreneurs with the knowledge, resources, and relationships required to solve critical business problems while advancing to the next level of sustainable growth, which I can't wait to hear all about it because all this has a lot to do with what we're talking about today. Then when Brandy is not busy, a busy wife, being a wife, a mother, a volunteer, a business owner, or most of all, a valuable employee, you can find her spending time with her main man, her gentle giant, her cane Corso Mastiff named Bucky. Woo!
Bucky. So without further ado, Miss Brandy!
Hello. Hi, ladies. Good morning.
Hello. How are you?
I am well.
Great. And thank you for being the first guest in our entrepreneurial story series.
I am honored. Thank you.
Good. So I didn't know you were an employee of the citrus industry as well. I learned something.
Yes, I am. 20 years plus. I just recently went part-time, so it's been a little bit of a transition.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you have time for that? Running 3 restaurants and
Yeah.
That's impressive. So, Brandy, tell us a little bit about your what wasn't on the bio, or a little bit about your professional background, how you kind of ended up in the restaurant industry.
Well, I ended up in the restaurant industry kind of by default. My husband is a retired firefighter of 25 years, and he went into cardiac arrest in 2014 and was forced into retirement. And being retired, but used to being busy all the time, he decided to open up a restaurant. So
just like that?
Just like that. We visited the main location in Daytona. Crab Stop is part of a franchise.
Okay.
And we enjoyed that experience. We came back home with our friends and looked for a location that we thought would be a good fit. And we opened up on 14th Avenue in the end of 2014. Launched it at the end of 14, and January of 2015, we opened the first crab stop of Vero Beach. It was sat about 40 people at the most, maybe 45, and it was, kind of what you see today on a larger scale. But at 14th Avenue was just a few tables, a few high tops, and just fun, families sitting together. It didn't matter if you came together, but you'd end up, so that started that journey. Supporting him, I just became a restaurant owner. I mainly, with the restaurants, I'm behind the scenes with the Crab Stop, just recently kind of coming out front, but handling all of the books, all of the, day-to-day operations, things like that. So.
Wow. That's big because, I mean, the restaurant industry is no joke. I mean, that's hard work. But having a franchise like that, that's really is a great way for people to kind of get their foot in, because I'm assuming you get a lot of help from the sort of central organization which started.
Right. Well, we were the first franchise family that was outside of his immediate family. So a few locations that were owned by his mom, brothers, sisters. So we were the first group of entrepreneurs that were outside of that umbrella. So they came on board and supported it. It was new for them as well. He sent his family down and spent weeks at a time getting us off the ground. But it's almost 9 years and we still have a hands-on relationship. We communicate probably every week. They send customers down our way. They come and visit. The CEO, Oliver Ross, he comes and he's a part of our anniversary events. He came to our brunch.
Oh, yeah.
I was there. Yes, he was so proud of us. That was our 5-year anniversary as well. When we
that was a great event.
Yeah, so it's
grow that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So now that we know it's obviously you've had this for, you said 5 years, right? 5 years, the one in Sebastian?
5 years Sebastian, 9 years total with both locations.
That's so cool. So what kind of keeps you going? What's your driving force? Because, we're going to talk a little bit about what you're doing now, but what kind of keeps you going?
It was a transition for me because I wasn't used to being so busy. I at one point was a single mom of 2 children, and just their schedules kept me busy. But other than that, weekends were relaxing and at home with the kids, or going on a quick vacation. So transitioning into entrepreneurship and owning your own business, seeing the ability to make your own schedules and be your own boss, those were some things that excited me because I had never experienced that before, or even been a part of anyone else's journey to know what entrepreneurship was like. So, knowing that you have you to depend on, basically, that has to drive you, even harder. You have no one else that you can call on and say, hey, I can't come in today, or, I can't do this, or, something's broken. Everybody's contacting you to fix everything. So, you just have to, be ready to, find that part of yourself that you're able to just, go through, those challenges when you have your own,
just got to do it. Yeah. Amen to that. I couldn't agree more, and I think that's the beauty, and also what scares a lot of people with entrepreneurship is, yes, the fact that you are your own boss, but also that, holy crap, I am the one who has to fix it all.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no one else.
It's almost like you have to buckle up and go for the ride. And just that the speed bumps and all that stuff is going to come, but that too shall pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in this entrepreneurial, or in not just entrepreneurial journey, but in anything, what is the best advice you ever got, you think?
The best advice I've ever gotten in is know every element of your business. Know about every element of your business from the beginning to the end. You can't leave that responsibility to just one person, or you do a lot of delegating, but you have to know how your business works. You have to know how to jump in at any time and get it done, whether it's in the restaurant industry, being a hostess, being a server, being a cook, being a bartender, whatever you need to do. If it's bussing tables, doing the prep work, whatever you need to do, you have to be prepared to do that.
Yeah.
And I, personally, when I communicate with my managers, I want to know everything. Never think that too much information or you feel like you can handle it, that, I'll just get this done. I just like being aware of problems and situations. I like to be in the know. I like to be involved. If something happens, you get hit by a bus, I should be able to jump right in and, do what I need to do to get it done. And that's just what I've learned in my 20 years of working in the citrus industry. It's a lot of moving parts, and it's important that there's more than one go-to person. So, and being an owner of the business, I just felt that it was very, very important that I know how to do as much as I could, and it needs to get done as well as, the people that we have in those roles, but you should be able to handle
in
your business.
And you could have thought that this was set up, because that's something we say all the time, like delegate, but know your business. Don't depend on someone else doing it, so that if that person leaves, that you have no idea what's going on. So yeah,
right. That's so important.
That was good advice.
I love it.
Yeah. And what do you wish someone would have told you about entrepreneurship before you jumped in head first? Any like rude awakenings, any advice that you want to give aspiring entrepreneurs that you maybe wish you had learned?
I wish someone had told me how much sacrifices it would take, and it's not just financially, it's emotionally, it's it's a lot of hours away from your families, away from your friends, holidays, weekends, nights, sleep. You sacrifice every area of your life, when you become an entrepreneur. Just because it just requires a lot of dedication, and you can't, you get to a point where you'll be able to designate time to your business, but starting out, it's going to take everything, and I don't think people love to share the good. They don't share the bad. They want everything to look picture perfect, and they want you to see the success, and they want you to see all of those things. But I wish someone had told me, and I will tell others, that it's not going to always be easy, and you just have to be prepared for that, emotionally and financially, and just in every area of your life. You have to talk to your kids. My daughter was in college, I believe, but my son was still at home, and he was busy with things in school. So I missed out on a few things with him because we were starting out. And that was new for me, because I was always involved. And to have to sacrifice that time, and then there was times where I would be the only parent at home because my husband was running the business, and, And at one point I had to take a break from the restaurant because balancing the relationship and being in partnership together was challenging. So I had to, we would be at the restaurant and tensions is there. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna go home and we'll talk when you get home. And so it was a period of time where I took months off where just being physically at the restaurant, just because I needed that mental break.
Yeah,
And
working with your spouse is not for everyone. I mean, that would be hard. Yeah, I could totally understand that. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think if a marriage or relationship can go through that, that's a good sign. And also being an entrepreneur in the restaurant industry, I think probably with the hours, and that's a lot tougher than a lot of
you don't have that unwindness. You just,
and as you said, holidays, when other people want to go out for dinner, that's when you got to work. So
a lot of date nights were spent at Captain Hiram's at 11 and 12 at night, at midnight.
Yeah.
And we had to get creative. We would, spend the night at Captain Hiram's, and walk back and forth from the hotel like we were tourists. And
hey,
we had to get creative. And
right, that's a long way. Yeah. No, that's true.
If I had advice for an entrepreneur too, I would say that you have to just be prepared for those challenges and know how to navigate through them and not throw the towel in, and just, be aware that it too shall pass, like Ingrid said. But I know it's difficult when you're in the storm, and I experienced it a lot, is wanting that answer right now and wanting the solution right now and not wanting to go through that waiting period. But just knowing that when you're dedicated and passionate about something, you'll get through it one way or another. May not be the way you want, but
no, that's great. Great advice. And as you said too, not everything is rosy and not everything is Instagram worthy.
Right.
But it's also what Cindy Porter, when we had Cindy on, but she talked about the financial runway in order when you start a business that you give yourself a financial runway to run on for a while. You can't just give up everything and expect, the business to be profitable right off the bat. It's not going to happen. So,
yeah.
Right.
So true. So true.
I love that. One of the things we wanted you to share was like harmony. How do you create that harmony and stress? And you kind of went a little bit into it while answering this question, which is really cool because we always think about that. I've been in business for 11 years. So you kind of learn, and Christina's been 12?
Oh, no.
No,
I've
more.
Been in
You've been before.
19 years.
19 years. So you learn those sacrifices. So we've gone through the sacrifices. We've missed stuff for the children. So we kind of go back and forth, but yet so we're there for things that we want to be now, but going through that, like you said, the storm, having that harmony, because everybody talks about balance.
Yeah.
And I think balance is like a scale. Yeah. You're either 50-50, 100, nothing. Yeah. So it's never, when you create harmony, I feel like it's like a song. It just flows.
Yeah. And sometimes certain things sometimes your business need to be top priority and sometimes your kids. But I am a strong believer of that your kids, they do what you do, not what you say. So when they see you work hard and be passionate about, that's it's okay if you miss out on a play or a game or something. It's not the end of the world.
So. Right. That is so true, Christina, because my kids, I am so proud of them because they really possess great work ethics.
Yeah.
My daughter, and she's been told on multiple occasions, she at one point was traveling during COVID for work, and she's had her supervisors say, I want to meet your parents because, someone as young as you, it's just really you don't see it all the time. Someone her age is dedicated and devoted to work. And right now she balances working at the hospital and managing the restaurants with me. And I mean, she gets on Ellis and I sometimes, and she puts us in our place. Like, she really, when they're working and they're in tune, they're all in. And I'm just grateful that they, learned that from us.
Yeah,
And
that's the best compliment you can ever get, right?
Yes.
When people compliment your kids on things that they learn from watching you. Or
Hopefully they don't get my bad stuff.
Well,
Hopefully
they might get a little bit of that.
And they promised me as well. They promised me also that they will always take vacations with me.
Wow, that's a big problem. Well, they're expecting you to pay for them then?
Well, they actually, my son, we went to Grenada last year, and he and my daughter, they planned it and paid for it. And
what?
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna hope my kids are listening to this.
Right.
That.
Mine's is still young. Maybe Victor,
you need to start telling them.
Victor,
you need to start prepping them for this. Like, when you go to a certain age, you take your parents on vacation.
Right.
That's good. Just make it a thing. That's Yes.
And make them promise that they'll always have a vacation with me outside of their significant others, and we still have that one-on-one vacation. It's been so fun. It's been so fun.
That's great. I'm gonna adapt that in our family.
I went on a walk with Cheeto this morning, and he said, I want to travel the world, go everywhere before I die. Oh. And he goes, and I always want to take somebody with me from the family.
Oh.
So we're gonna have
there you go. You sign up to be the first on the list.
I love it.
So Brandy, how do you handle failures or setbacks? Because it happens. Customers, and how do you deal with that?
Well, at first it was very, very difficult. When I received bad reviews, or I saw, especially on social media, my friends and my family supporting other people that, did similar businesses as me. And, I would, just kind of question, I would take it so personal, but over time I learned people do what they want to do. They spend money on who they want to spend money on, and I have no control over that. And it was difficult because when you first, in any business that you own, you feel your friends in your circle or your first supporters are going to be the ones that are going to, be there for you. And that's not going to be the case. You have to find your tribe. And when you find your tribe, you're going to have, a circle of friends and other business women that are going to go hard for you. They're going to share and support, be there for you, give you ideas, see areas of concern, and privately communicate with you to fix those things or what you can do better, So for me, I just, it wasn't easy. I can't give you an easy answer for that, because I've just, over time, it's gotten better for me to see that.
You definitely take it personal when it is your business and it becomes like one of your kids. It becomes like a baby, and it's really hard in the beginning. I had the same
I did
thing
too.
in the beginning when someone wasn't happy, like, oh. So
right.
Yeah, you learn. Maybe you become a little jaded, but I think you just know, as you said, and we've talked about that too. Your friends is not your business. I mean, they're not going to support. And sometimes it's people you thought would be your biggest supporters. They're not. And but you will also be surprised over where you find new supporters in areas you never thought.
Yeah. Right. And even in the situations that were, our fault, apologize, be willing to, accept responsibility and not always have an excuse, but be willing to use those things, the criticism, the bad reviews as motivation to do better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Even the dog agrees with that.
Excited.
I think that's a mic drop moment. Yes. Utilize your bad reviews as a stepping stone to become better. Absolutely.
Right, to do better, just to apologize, talk to the customers. I mean, you want their input.
And it's so future if you could look in the what do you call it, the
magic
8-ball, whatever. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, and where do you and the business
businesses?
Yes, that's true. Businesses.
Well, I see myself in 5 years from now being completely retired from the office.
Oh, okay, from the office. Okay.
Totally devoted to my businesses, being involved in a day-to-day operations, being present, being seen in the locations. That's one of my biggest desires right now, is to physically be present more. And hopefully in 5 years at a point where I can also travel more, do more, mentor other women, business owners, children, teenagers that are, I think now we probably have more teenagers that want to own their own businesses and aren't necessarily wanting to go off to college. And so if those are some of their dreams, being able to talk to them about those things. And, I do believe you still will need some education, but targeting the right skills so that you can own and operate your own business.
That's that's awesome. I have the same exact. Not everyone needs to go to 4 years of college and no. If you know you want to own a business, there should be more vocational studies targeted to that. Not everyone needs to build up huge student debt in order to
or degrees that you won't use.
Exactly.
So if you're passionate about something and you know that early on, why not start early so that you can retire early and you can.
That's a great point. I couldn't agree more. That's great. So where do you see the businesses? Where do you see Sweet Desire, your newest baby, which we are huge fans? Well, we're huge fans of all your businesses, but we do love our coffee as listeners of this show, and we like our sweets too. So where do you see Sweet Desire? Are we going to have several?
Well, I hope so. I just wrapped up a conversation. I mean, if you don't know, for those that may be listening, we are 3 weeks old this week with Desires Espresso Bar and Bakery and Miracle Mile. We're off to an amazing start. I just thank the community so much for coming out and supporting us and enjoying it and spreading the word to others to come out and give us a try. I'm just so overwhelmed with the support. Seriously, we opened up a few days before we officially launched, and just that foot traffic alone was so inspiring for us to know what to expect, and it hasn't disappointed us. I just recently, over the weekend, wrapped up a conversation with Dillard's department store, who wants me to take over a kiosk in their department store by the shoe department and by the perfumes and makeups area. So we'll have a small pop-up shop that will open in a couple of weeks inside of the Dillard store.
Shoes
That's
and coffee.
So cool. Yes, shoes and coffee. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. They're excited about the collaboration. They're just eager to have something chic and beautiful in that space. They're, to support their customers, support their employees. So I'm grateful that they decided and chose me to be a part of that.
That's
So
great. And you've only been open 3 weeks. That's
3 weeks.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So,
No, it's a great spot. Yeah. And
mhm.
we will have, Brandy's giving away a gift card, but you have to subscribe to our newsletter. We will do a drawing for a gift card for Sweet Desires on Facebook. We'll do it live
Yes.
sometime this week.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
airing. Yes.
So I know we talked a little bit about where they can find you, but we have Crab Stop in Vero, correct?
Yes.
Then we have Sebastian,
Correct.
and then Sweet Desires.
Sweet Desires Espresso Bar and Bakery is in Miracle Mile Plaza. We're next to Cosmo hair supply store, and we're in between Cosmo and Kemp Shoes. It's the old Cheese Cave location. Everybody probably remembers Cheese Cave, so we're in that space.
Yeah, and if you're not in Vero Beach, well, that's a good reason to come here. You can come for coffee,
Yes.
lunch, or both.
Or both.
Yes, for breakfast and for lunch, we offer both selections.
Yeah, no, coffee 24/7.
I love
Yes.
it. So we're going to be posting links on all the locations and social media. Which one do you love to use for business or for them to contact you?
I'm using both. I'm using Sweet Desires on Facebook and Sweet Desires Espresso Bar on Instagram.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So we will add those links so
Yeah.
people can follow you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brandy, for sharing your the whole truth and just showing from all angles what entrepreneurship is like, the opportunities that are out there, but that there's also a lot of hard work. So thank you for sharing your story with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, sure. And we
Thanks.
always
I
do a
saw
little
you glass.
cheers. All right. Well, thank you and cheers.
Cheers.